It's no secret that I'm pretty critical of Gaijin. I have plenty of videos criticizing their decisions, but only a few praising what they get right. After playing the game for so long, it can be hard to really appreciate some of the minute details, but after messing around with vehicle files, I have a bit more admiration for how War Thunder operates, so I thought I would talk about some of the cooler details I noticed. Some of these might be really mundane to you, but I thought they were neat regardless. But before we get into it, I want to talk about my sponsor. I'm partnered with Apex Gaming. They make pre-built PCs. If you're looking to upgrade, you should check them out. Link is in the description and comments. You can use my username as a discount code on checkout. Now back to the video. First up, there's something I discovered while making my most recent HSTVL video. You might remember that in that video, I fired a 1 gram projectile at the speed of light, and sent my tank flying through the air. You would think that recoil would be determined by a single dedicated value, since recoil is pretty spot on for basically every vehicle, but no. The recoil a gun generates is actually derived from projectile mass and velocity, which is pretty cool. I guess it does make things a bit easier, since you can just plug in the values and not worry about making another for recoil. Obviously it isn't super accurate, since recoil depends on a number of factors, like recoil length and if there's a muzzle brake, but I still think it's pretty cool regardless. By the way, if any of you could calculate the recoil generated by that round, let me know. Considering it slammed the tank so hard it flew hundreds of meters in the air, it has to be an absurd amount. One final thing worth noting, there is a parameter that can dampen recoil, but it's not used much if at all. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Most people know that while stat cards give a general idea of how a vehicle performs, they don't exactly tell the whole story. Sometimes the stats are either incorrect or rounded. For the combat weight of tanks, this is especially true. However, if you look at the stat card of your favorite tank, and you see the combat weight is higher than it should be, don't worry too much about it. The actual exact weight is used in the vehicle's BLK file, and that's what determines in-game performance. If the weight is off by 2 tons though, then I would make a bug report. There's another fact related to that, and it has to do with fuel. Fuel weight is an important aspect of air battles, but it's also kind of modeled in ground RB. Maybe fuel quantity would be a better term, but I thought this was very interesting. As far as I know, this doesn't have any gameplay effect. I thought maybe it affected fuel detonation chance, but that's an entirely separate figure. Even if it doesn't do anything, I still think it's neat that it's modeled. Next one isn't really a fact, more of an Easter egg. If you go to a birch tree in ground RB, you can see that each one has something carved into the bark. Every single one has the initials BP, followed by 1999, and a heart with an arrow through it. Not really sure why it's inverted. I don't think it's always been like that. I think it might be a texture error. In my exhaustive 30 seconds of research, I couldn't find an explanation for this Easter egg. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably just a developer's anniversary or something. Moving on, the speed of sound option isn't exactly hidden, but I rarely see anyone talk about it. If you enable it, then sound actually takes time to travel, instead of you just hearing it instantly. I'm sure it wasn't incredibly difficult to make, but I always enjoy when a game models it. And finally, if you take a screenshot by pressing print screen, navigate to the screenshots folder in the War Thunder directory, and open the PNG using Notepad, it displays a surprising amount of information. Not just about your PC's components, but about the game as well. The vehicle you're using, the exact position of the camera, and much more. Can you do anything with the information? Not really, but it's still pretty interesting. That's about all I have for now. If you guys have similar facts or anything, leave them down below. I might make a follow-up video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.